Hello and welcome to our channel. We pre-purchased the Deluxe beverage package for our recent cruise on Royal Caribbean ship Oasis of the Seas. Was it worth it? Or would we have been better off buying drinks as we went along? Stay tuned to find out.
Hi, we're Neil and Linda of Adventures with the Anguses. We're a hard-working married couple from Scotland who like to make the most of our holidays from work by travelling as often as we can. We love cruising, city breaks and road trips, and our aim is to bring you useful and informative travel tips, as well as sharing our own adventures.
The Royal Caribbean Deluxe beverage package is quite expensive. We paid $69.99 per person, which was a sale price. There are always sales on the Royal Caribbean website and app, so it's worth keeping an eye out for a good deal. Tax and gratuities were added on top of that price as well at checkout, but we'll go through each day individually first, then add up all of the figures at the end so that you have a really good idea of the true cost of this package and hopefully be able to work out if it's worth it for you. Before we do that though, we'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to our channel, which is free for you to do and really helps us out. Right now, at the time of recording, we've got 129 subscribers, which we're delighted about, but we would love to add to that number. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a like and click the bell for notifications of our future videos. Thank you.
Right, here we go. Don't judge us, remember, we were on holiday. So day one, this was the day we boarded the ship. First thing we did was get a coffee from Cafe Promenade, along with a wrap for a light lunch. Then we went exploring and ended up at the Playmakers bar on the boardwalk. It's a sports bar, and there was a football match on I wanted to watch, so we had a few drinks there. I had some Magners cider, and Linda had some sangria and a black and gold cocktail.
After checking into our room and exploring the ship a bit, we stopped by the Trellis Bar in Central Park for a pre-dinner cocktail. Neil had a couple of beers with dinner and I had a glass of wine. And then after dinner we visited the Rising Tide Bar, that's good there, and finished our evening with a couple of cocktails each. So here's our total for the first day, $193.70. So you can see that the cost of drinks really adds up. Of course, there will be days when we're off the ship on excursions and might not spend as much, so we'll see how it all works out later in the video. I just want to point out as well that the figures we're giving you here with a little asterisk star type of thing next to it, it's an estimated cost for that drink. Because we had prepaid the drinks package, if a drink wasn't on the menu, we didn't have the cost of it. That said, the pricing was fairly standard throughout the ship and we have been as accurate as possible. And I think this still gives a very fair idea of whether the drinks package is worth the cost or not.
Moving on to day two, this was a port day in Palma, Mallorca, but we decided to stay on board and enjoy the ship. Like the day before, coffee was our first drink of the day, always. Later we stopped off at the British pub called the Globe and Atlas for a drink, where I had another Magners cider and Linda had a bottle of water. Then we spent a couple of hours soaking up the sun in the solarium, where we enjoyed a couple of frozen cocktails. Not my thing normally, but well. Followed by some drinks at the Lime and Coconut Bar before getting ready for dinner.
Drinks during dinner were the same as yesterday, a couple of beers for Neil and a white wine for me. Then we stopped by Playmakers for a drink while waiting to get into the Aqua 80 show. We did have another drink at the show as well. There are staff coming round, taking drinks orders before and during the show. Then we popped back into Playmakers after Aqua 80, which is fantastic by the way, where Neil had a cocktail and I just had a bottle of water. And that was day two, total $207.73. We are trying to keep each day quite brief for you while still giving you an idea of what each day on the drinks package looks like, so hopefully we're succeeding.
Day three was a sea day, so we were on the ship the whole day again. We had room service breakfast this morning, and that came with filter coffee, which is included in the basic cruise fare, so we didn't have any coffee costs to the drinks package this morning at all. We had lunch at the specialty restaurant called Chops Grill. This is booked for today, so we stopped by the Trellis Bar for a drink before going on into the restaurant. another cider for me, Bulmers this time, and a peach Pellini for Linda. Because we had the drinks package, our drinks and chops grill were also included, so we had a glass of wine each.
After lunch, we chilled out for a while in the solarium, where we each had a frozen mango daiquiri. These were lovely. The usual drinks at dinner, just one lager for Neil tonight.
Just one?
Yep, just one. And a white wine for me, followed by an after-dinner drink in the Schooner bar, where Neil had a gin and I had a parrot punch cocktail. And that was it for day 3, total $110.48. Remember as well that all of these prices we're giving you just now are subject to tax and gratuities. As I said before, we'll go over the totals at the end and include all of these extras so you get the full picture.
On day 4, we were off the ship on an excursion to Pisa. We started our day with 2 small decaf lattes from Cafe Promenade. No pictures of these, sorry. Once again, back on the ship, it was straight to dinner, where I had 2 lagers this time, and Linda had her usual glass of white wine.
After dinner, we thought we'd try out making our own drinks in the Bionic bar. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a bar with no human bartenders. You make your own drink by choosing your ingredients on an electronic tablet. Then a machine mixes up your drink, you swipe your cruise card, and the drink is slid towards you for you to pick up. We do have a wee video on how this works, which you're about to see. Neil made himself a Hendrick's gin and lemonade here, and I mixed myself a cocktail with banana rum, pineapple syrup, and afterwards, we tried a couple of drinks each at the Globe and Atlas pub, but honestly, we didn't really like what we ordered and we didn't drink them. This, I suppose, is the beauty of the prepaid drinks package, because we could just move on from those drinks as we weren't enjoying them, whereas if we had paid for them out of pocket, we would have been so annoyed to have wasted that money. Now, as Scots, we hate any kind of waste.
Especially me, I'm not going to waste drink.
But we just couldn't drink them. We just didn't like what we'd chosen. So not impressed with the Globe and Atlas, moved on to an old favourite, the Rising Tide bar, where Neil had a cool as a cucumber gin cocktail and I had a sangria. Our total for today was $165.48. Not bad considering we were off the ship for half the day.
We were off the ship again today for our trip to Rome, as it's now day 5. Once again, we started our day with coffees from Cafe Promenade. No picks again, Linda, that's you. We seem to be failing with these coffee picks. We picked up some bottles of water for our excursion here as well. Back on board, once again we had our normal dinner drinks. 2 lagers for me, wine for Linda. After dinner, we decided to try some bars that we hadn't actually been to yet. So we went to the Spotlight bar first. Here I had a botanist gin, and Linda had a Caribbean mule cocktail.
Enjoyed that, did you?
I did. Then we crossed the promenade to Bolero's, where we each had a mojito.
These were honestly the best mojitos. A really nice balance of mint and lime, absolutely delicious. We finished our evening at our favourite Playmakers, where Neil had a few Magner ciders and I had a Negroni cocktail and some water. Our total spend for today was $144.45.
Day 6. We had thought we were doing quite well with the drinks up to this point, but here's where it started to go wrong.
Yes, the night before, when we were sitting in Playmakers, I had started to feel a little bit sick. We weren't long back in our cabin when I started being really ill. We think it was food poisoning from food that I ate in Rome. And I just want to be absolutely clear here. We had eaten exactly the same as each other on the ship at dinner time. The only time we ate differently that day was in Rome. So I am certain that the ship food was not to blame for my illness. What it did mean though was that we were not out and about eating and drinking as normal today. I was in bed all day and Neil managed a really poor effort on the drinks front. You went out a few times for food, but really didn't want to go drinking by himself, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was my chance, guys. It really was, but I blew it. All I had today from the drinks package was a latte in the morning. Any other coffees I had were from the Windjammer buffet, which were included in the cruise fare. The only other drinks I bought were a couple of Powerades for Linda to see if they would help her get some energy back. And a bottle of water. Total for today, $15. How embarrassing. $15. Scotsman, can't believe it. Moving on to day 7, this was a sea day. We had breakfast in the Windjammer buffet, so our drinks were included in the cruise fare, coffee and orange juice.
I was up and about today, but feeling very weak from being ill the previous day. So we found some sunbeds in the solarium for the day so that I could just rest there. Neil had a Strongbow cider and a frozen mango daiquiri, and I just had a bottle of water at this point. It's kind of all I could manage. Making up for lost time yesterday, Neil then had another Strongbow and a frozen mojito. This looked so good, I wish I'd been able to try it. Later on, I managed to pick at a bit of lunch, and as I was absolutely determined to enjoy our last full day, I ordered a non-alcoholic cocktail called the Lava Flow. I think it's a mix of pina colada and strawberry daiquiri if you have the alcoholic version, but I was not up to that and had the non-alcoholic one today. Not to be left out, Neil had a frozen mango daiquiri. And you know what? During this cruise, we both found that the mango daiquiris were much tastier than the strawberry ones. Yeah.
Me drinking cocktails, unheard of. For pre-dinner drinks tonight, we went to Bolero's, where we both had mojitos. The non-alcoholic version for Linda, she still didn't feel too great, and a normal one for me. As always, I had a couple of beers with dinner.
And I just had water tonight. No wine for me today. And no after-dinner drinks either. We just had a last little wander around the ship, then we went back to our room to pack for disembarking in the morning. Total for today, $111.98. We could have had coffees the next morning, which would be day 8 technically, before exiting the ship, but we had a quick breakfast in the main dining room, so the filter coffee was included in the cruise fare, so we have nothing to add to the drinks package from our last morning.
So hopefully you've made it this far and you can see how we've done. Did we break even or spend far too much in our drinks package that's not worth the money? Let's find out.
Okay, so you can see that our total spend on drinks that were part of our drinks package was $948.82. As we mentioned before, if you paid for these drinks out of pocket, there would be tax and gratuities added to your final bill. You can see in our case that the tax on our drinks would be $94.88, and the gratuities, that's at 18%, would total $170.78, making our total spend a whopping $1,214.48. That is a lot of extra money to find at the end of a cruise if you are not keeping track of your spending on your beverages. So how does that compare against what we prepaid for the package? Well, you can see that we paid slightly more for the package than we spent at $1,253.98, or in British pounds, £985.06. We made a very small loss. We're actually really happy with this, considering there was a day when we barely bought any drinks at all due to me being ill even. We would have absolutely smashed this if I had been well for the whole trip. But you know, things happen. And I think this shows that even with an unexpected event, for us, the drinks package was worth it.
We didn't set out to beat the system in any way. We weren't trying to drink our way into profit with the package. We just went about our daily business having a drink if we wanted to, whether it be water, coffee, or an alcoholic drink.
Of course, only you can decide if you think the cost of the deluxe drinks package is worth it for you. There are other drinks packages available as well, including a soft drinks one. And we would definitely recommend looking out for a deal to buy before boarding.
Yes.
It's much more expensive to purchase any of the drinks packages once you're on board, so do keep checking the app and the website. Hopefully this has helped you make a decision if a drinks package is something you're considering purchasing.
If you found this video helpful, we would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps, costs you nothing. So, thank you for watching, and bye for now.